We look lost in confusion. Absent of proven solution, we sit stacked in the back rack of illusion. Packed like the city, full of cracks and pollution. I wonder what's under our surface while we carry on like watching reruns on purpose. It just makes me feel like a machine, so outdated and worthless, and it's just that I want purpose. Not for me, but for us. Not for greed or lust, but for unity amongst us, the people. And I know we are different pillars, but pillars nonetheless, as we hold up the same trust and invest the same will. I want us to be real. Not just fillers filling up space like a dead plant on the windowsill we water just in case. I want us to actually grow. Like we are connected and share the same space, that this place is special. But something's wrong, isn't it? Like the maestro's playing the wrong song at the wrong decibel, that the festival isn't actually festive, but rather regrettable, and the sensible thing to do is just change the festivity. But we can't without unity. So you see why it's so important. But the show divides us like orphans, sorely portioned out, so distorted and discordant with each other. We are left sorting and courting idols and objects, titles and projects, like we keep reliving abortion and life interjects. Will you please reconnect? You're more than idle subjects lobbying for paychecks and martyring your mindset. Let's regress from human bin to human being. And if all you have is a voice and a two-step, use it, because believing is seeing. And lately I've been seeing less. And maybe it's our government or maybe it's the press, but whatever has infected us was the best weapon yet. And I think Hendrix said it best when he said, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think what he meant was in reference to the trickle effect and the ensuing question, have we done this correctly? Truly checked what human being actually meant. That lately we've been dying with regret as our cups have been lessened, half empty on a table, half set. We forget or have forgotten that material leaves you regress, jesting, and rotten. That somewhere connection disconnected from socket, like we left the keys inside and locked. Right? Yes. So what if we set judgment aside pride, right next to money and everything else that makes prime individuals divisible and dismissible like a storm in the distance? We saw this coming, whether you'd like to admit it or not. I'll tell you something, we are stronger than this. We must elevate ourselves from the mist and all the troubles, troubling bliss to make this more than a listed wish be fuddled and be fumbling. We are distantly far less humbled and humbling, grumbling through the mist. I can see the light in the poetry and the prophets, in the potency of the composed sonnets. Soul stretched thin, but what has been, whether it's bliss or sin, feast or famine, we are all tools of God. However, God is something we should examine. Because if God divides us like this, I want no parts of him. As human has been torn limb from limb by war under him, and he is yet to step in like no children. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's not above, but within the quantum column, or in the bottom of the blossom when the petals have fallen to the past like postpartum. And I know we got this, but I must persistently insist wherever your heart sits. And once it skips, I hope it flicks your light switch from off to on. As life is fixed in darkness just before the dawn, like a spark, I hope it finally clicks before this life is ultimately gone.